Hello, people. Welcome back to another episode of the YepBoat podcast. Everything about Battlegrounds, Hearthstone that you need to know. It's been a little while since I did an episode, and I've not been uploading too much, but happy to be talking now about the meta. So today we're talking about how Hearthstone is shifting, how things are changing since the patch with Flatus being nerfed, Gangers being buffed. A lot of things are changing, and I've played a lot recently. So if you want to know how to win more games, get more first places, how things are evolving, then I'll fill you in on all of that. Also, I'll be talking about the challenge that I'm doing a bit. If you don't follow me on Twitter or you don't check the community tab too often on this YouTube page where I often post updates or things like that. Like today I posted an update of a tournament that's happening in 2 days or 1 day. I don't know when I'm going to upload this, but I'm streaming a big tournament as well on this channel, like a massive prize pool, some of the best players. So if you want to catch that, check the community tab, I would say. What else? I'm also going to talk a bit about grinding, because I've been grinding like crazy recently, which is why I'm uploading less, and what I learned on how to improve, because in a week I was able to climb almost 2000 MMR from like swinging off and on leaderboards to now top 50 EU 11k. And there's a lot that I'm learning about learning. I'm learning about how to get better at the game, what it takes to actually improve, and because I thought I was hard stuck at a rank. I just was stuck there for days and I felt like giving up, but I took the right measures and I was able to get past that. So if you want to learn how to get better and push yourself to new limits, I'll be talking about the grind of Battlegrounds. So again, meta, the challenge, the grind, and some other random stuff that I'll throw in there. Let's get started. Also, as you see, this episode is solo. It's just me and my microphone sitting here talking about Battlegrounds because... well, there's no because I was lazy, I guess. But if you want any guest features, if you have any content creators or Battlegrounds people that you look up to and want to watch, maybe you want to see featured on this YepBoat podcast, for some reason that was hard to pronounce, please leave them down below in the comments. Let me know who you would like to see on here. Also, if you're new to the channel and you like Battlegrounds content, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to catch more of these guides and things like that. And liking the video if you enjoy. Of course, yeah, let's move on now to the actual podcast. So the meta, what is happening in Battlegrounds? So Flatus nerfed, and actually the nerf was massive. At first it didn't seem too big, right? People said that Quillbores are still gonna be really good. They are still really good, but they're not insta-win anymore. I think most of the predictions that I did, I mean, it was only 2 predictions, right? The Kangaroos and the Flatus, but those predictions were relatively correct. So what happened is previously you triple into 6s almost every time Quillbores are in the lobby, because if you hit Flattusk you win. You got so many gems, you can find a Shaker, an Agam, boards, and you're too strong and no one can catch up to you and you win. Which makes some heroes really oppressive. Heroes that can power level and that have enough tempo to go up. They're just too oppressive because they could pull this off almost reliably. Well, right now, Flat Tusk is almost a death sentence if you hit it too early. I've had games where I'll power level to tier 6, I take Flat Tusk and I just die because it only pays off if you hit Agam. The games that I get Flat Tusk early but roll an Agam, I win. Like, it's not even close. The lobby is destroyed, but it's just this 2-card combo that you need. So I think right now, the only way that I get to pull off Agam Flat Tusk is if I don't power level and hit Flat Tusk and get lucky, but if I just set up a good Menagerie, I'm strong, I find like a Light Fang, or I'm playing Mechs, or I'm just playing something strong, and then later on I find a Flat Tusk, I just take it, I roll an Agam, and then I slowly transition into this insane scaling. I've had games where I even found Goldrun first, and I played some sort of beast, and then I found Flat Tusk, and I did full switch. It was a really cool game, so that's it for Flat Tusk. And Kangaroos being buffed is also massive. A lot of people were like, it's not gonna do much, it's just Kangaroos, like people don't care about it, but I've won so many games actually with Kangaroos. It's kind of crazy. You don't need any scaling, you're just strong. Like, if you find an egg and you just triple something into Kangaroos, you're strong. It's very simple. You just need to taunt your egg, find Argus, find a module, find Khadgar or Baron to get more summons, and you are gonna kill people. Like, even insane Agam Flatus comps I was able to beat with just the Golden Sneeds and Khadgars and Kangaroos. And some poison in the end, okay, I'm gonna admit I had Selfless and a couple poisons to take out some big dudes, but it's crazy to me that I think it is so undervalued. I see only Greybows play this comp and not enough other heroes, while it has won me literally multiple games, and it's super easy to set up once you just triple into a Kangaroos and you have the board for it. It does not compete with like super big scaling, and it does require some luck. of course, but I do feel like it is actually a really viable composition in high ranks. No matter what rank you are, you should give it a go. I might upload some games of it on my second channel. Right now, I've not been uploading too many YouTubes on the second channel or this channel because of the challenge that I'm doing. It takes a lot of time. Basically, every second that I'm awake, I play Battlegrounds, I learn Battlegrounds. So I've not been putting too much time into making those videos. But more on that later in this episode. Let's stick to the meta now. Another thing is leveling is constantly shifting. Like at first it was very greedy. You power in the entire lobby power level almost every time to tier 4. It's kind of crazy. And then things changed, and now people stay down more on tier 3, tier 4. There's even people that stay down on tier 4 for almost the entire game. Of course, depending on the hero you are, but that is because Mechs and Taunt comp are so good. I've been tracking my stats with Deck Tracker recently. I usually play without Deck Tracker. I still play without it. I don't use the overlay at all. I have it disabled, but I just have it running in the background to track my stats of how I perform with heroes, compositions, things like that. And it's only been 3 or 4 days of playing, but like over 10 hours of playtime a day. And the results are very interesting. Like Mechs and Menagerie, because I play a lot of Menagerie, are the best performing compositions for me. And Pirates, of course. Pirates is, I think, at the top, but you only go Pirates if you hit Eliza. So I've won a lot of games hitting Eliza into Scallywag, into Exodia, and people, if they don't find the right means to counter you, just beat them and they're dead. So I think Scallywag Exodia is my highest win rate composition because it's so easy to get once you find Eliza. Then it's Mechs. Mechs actually good. The Flectobot, Arm of Empire with mech stuff, and then you have like sort of a taunt mech comp. Like mechs are so flexible. You can even find scaling with them. You can still transition into Menagerie if you want to. You can do the Kangaroo stuff or the arm stuff, get high attack on everything. They're so good. It's tier 4. It's so early. And because of its tempo meta, it's just really good. You can even throw a shaker in there if you want to. So I would say go more mechs if you want more ranks. Taunt comp is not performing too well for me for whatever reason, according to the stats, but I think that's because it only counts Taunt comp once I have a champion on the board or something like that, or a Kiraji. And usually those are desperate situations when I have to like quickly go Taunt comp or I get top 8 and then I get top 8, so that might mess with the stats. But Taunt comp is still really good to fall back on. Kiraji, insane unit. I think it will always be one of the better tempo things on tier 4. And that comes to the point of tempo. Tempo is good. Like I used to be, like I said, kind of stuck at 9k, almost on and off leaderboard. Reason being, I had this, my head was stuck in previous meta. I was constantly thinking about how I used to play, which is power level to tier 4, 5, hit an early triple, win the game, right? So I hit an early triple into a 6 drop, and now I level to 6. There's a lot of games where I just level straight to 6 with a lot of HP, mind you, but you just die to the insane power people. Is that a word? People paying for tempo. It's kind of ridiculous, especially since more heroes are now playable. I feel like Hooktails, Jandis are still going to be broken and the best heroes and Omu, but you can now see heroes that like Savjz is one of my best performing heroes right now, or heroes that like stay down and just do strong shit. But Savjz that take a 4 drop, a 5 drop, a 5 drop, or a 4 or 5, a 6 or 2 5s. You can be very flexible with it. Heroes that don't necessarily power level are playable. That's how I should word it. I think it is really cool to see. Like Guff is one of my favorite heroes, best ones right now as well. I might do a guide on him because I played Guff so much and I keep consistently getting top 2s with him. And I feel like a lot of people play him wrong. He's one of my most played heroes. He's really cool, but he's hard. One thing I'll say is if you play Guff, find a way to level on 6 gold and on 8 gold without floating gold, using all your gold, using hero powers properly, getting the buffs on 1 or 2 units, go tall instead of wide. Anyway, this is not here to be a guide, but just so you know, more heroes playable, experiment, learn, play taunt stuff, play Mechs, you can still go for 6 drops and 5 drops, you can still win a lobby like that. Menagerie is really good. Menagerie is insane because of, Amalgadons of course, but Light Fang is also just so good if you find it early. If you triple into an early Light Fang, you're almost guaranteed top 4 unless you really fuck up. So if you don't know how to play Menagerie, I have an entire guide on that. Same with Mechs. They might be in the description, or you can just find them on the channel. So if you have trouble with that, I would say look at those. But let's move on now to talking about the challenge I'm doing. So if you didn't if you don't know about it yet or haven't read about it, and maybe it was a bit dumb to do this challenge. I'm gonna admit it was maybe in a bit of a rush, but I basically said I'm gonna hit rank 1, and if I don't hit rank 1, I'm gonna shave my head. So luckily I'll wear a cap very often, so I might just wear a cap so you don't see my bald head if I fail or if I quit. And every day, like, there's no time period. I'm not gonna say I give myself 2 or 3 weeks because of multiple reasons. First reason being if you don't get to your goal, like if you have a couple days left and you're far away, you just give up. If you reach the couple weeks, you just give up, right? Because you missed your goal. I don't want to give up. I want to keep going and see how long I can push myself to try and hit rank 1. So putting a time limit on it seemed kind of pointless to me, because grinding also just, there's only so much time you have in a day. So I don't think it's even reachable within a couple of weeks. Like, it's already 3 weeks now. I'm consistently climbing, but I wouldn't be able to get there. Because there's only 24 hours in a day. What else? What was I saying again? Oh yeah, the challenge. Every day that I'm not rank 1, I need to do 100 push-ups and take cold showers. So I haven't taken a hot shower in weeks, only cold ones, and I have been doing 100 push-ups every single day, just to remind myself that I'm not rank 1 yet. And it's just this annoying thing, this dread, basically this thing that bothers me every day, that reminds me that I need to hit rank 1 or I have to keep doing this every single day. And the reason why I'm explaining all of this to you is for my next point, the grind, how to like motivate yourself more and how to get better at stuff, whether it's Battlegrounds or anything else in life. I think it applies to multiple things, so it would be helpful, I guess, if you have a goal that you want to achieve or something you want to do. Not maybe to the extremes that I do it, but yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. So how the challenge is going? Pretty okay. What I did is I started streaming more. I stream on Twitch. If you don't know why, I think I also mentioned that in the post. But on YouTube, there's like very strict copyright rules, and if I stream over 10 hours listening to the same non-copyright lo-fi beats, I'm gonna lose my mind. So that is why I stream on Twitch, because there I can like split the audio tracks, so copyrighted music doesn't go on the VODs, so I don't get like copyright striked. Another reason why is because I would stream at very random times, sometimes at midnight, sometimes very early in the morning, 2 or 3 times a day, sometimes 10 hours, sometimes 4 hours. And I think YouTube is not gonna like that. I think people who have notifications on don't want to get spammed. You don't want to see me appear every single second. Also, I often stream without camera, sometimes with camera, sometimes I'm gone for half an hour because I'm cooking up dinner. So I think YouTube I want to hold to a high standard. So I'm still streaming on YouTube, just less right now because of the challenge. But when I stream, I think it's not going to be just me playing the game too often, maybe sometimes, but it will be me doing tournaments, which is happening in a couple days. It will be me doing reviews of patches, maybe playing if a new patch is released, talking about it, doing live BG reviews, doing guess the rank. So everything that's not just me normally playing the game, you'll find that on Twitch, but everything else you will find here. So hope you guys understand. Although if you want to see me playing the game on here more, I mean, I'm always down to feedback down below in the comments, so let me know if you like this idea or if you would prefer to see gameplay on here still. I could do a couple hours of gameplay if I want to, a couple times a week. But I thought this would be a cleaner solution to split it and to make it easier on myself and on the channel. So now onto the grind, which is I think is the most interesting part of this podcast. I mean, the meta, if you really want to climb, but the grind is well, very exhausting. Grinding in any game is always going to be exhausting, not just in any game, whatever you do, if it's a sport, if it's whatever. If you want to hit a new peak, like if you want to get better than you were before, you always need to put in so much time. But it's not just time, and that is something important I learned. If you're just going to sit down tonight and play 10 more hours of Battlegrounds, you might not necessarily climb. That is something very important that a lot of people forget. If you just sit down and do something, doesn't mean you get better. I learned this with other stuff as well. Like I used to be a rock climber, and I climbed every day. You improve, your strength improves, but at some point it's not strength anymore what you need. Like I was stuck at a certain grade and I couldn't climb harder grades, and I figured out that I don't think I took coaching, but I had someone to talk with, and he explained me how certain grips work. And I'm not going to go into details, but basically he explained me what I was doing wrong, what I had to improve on, which was more technical skill, more like technical maneuvers that I needed to learn, which wasn't about strength. Which I didn't know about. Like if you play X amount of hours, if you play As long as you do, you're going to keep making the same mistakes that you always do because you don't know what you're doing wrong. I think there's a word for it, or there's a phrase, but I can't remember it. But you don't know what you don't know. I think that's it. Like, you don't know the things that you don't know that you're bad at. I don't know if that sounds very obvious or if that sounds very weird, but I hope it makes sense. So how do you improve? Basically, you have someone else look at you and what you're doing wrong, like a coach. You can find Battlegrounds coaches, I'm pretty sure. Bejurvio might return sometime soon, or friends, or if you stream, you have backseaters, so people point out misplays that I do. I only listen to people with a higher rank than me, of course, or people at lower ranks that point out valid stuff also happens. But yeah, and looking at your own stuff as well from a different point of view. Every stream, I started looking back at my games from yesterday. So every stream, I woke up, I started stream, and I took 1 hour almost to look at every game that I played the day before and find like moments in the game that are very pivotal, that are very important, like the level turn, the triple turn. And then I try to figure out, was this correct? What are other lines? I even have this document on my computer, a OneNote document where I take screenshots of certain positions in the game, which is called line review. And I look at all the different lines that you can take in a certain spot and then figure out which one is best afterwards. Because sometimes it's too hard to figure out in the moment. So it's better to take a screenshot and look back at it in the future and maybe even discuss it with other people. So I've been taking notes, everything that I do wrong, everything that people tell me, I write down, I try to remember, and I try to look back at the screenshots with the line reviews. Also take hero notes, so specific notes for certain heroes, meta notes, basically anything that I need to know, I write down. It's very important that you write stuff down instead of trying to remember it, because people can tell you something, but you'll easily forget about it. If I didn't write all of this shit down, I would forget about it, honestly. If I would just not remember what I was doing wrong. There's something about putting something physically down on a piece of paper or in a document and then rereading it that is gonna help you memorize it. I think there's a lot of studies about this, that if you like learn for an exam, you shouldn't just read a book, because then you're going to forget about most of it. I think I've heard this as well, that you just need to write down or copy the most important parts of the book, and then you're going to memorize it better because you physically put it somewhere. So I think this also applies to Battlegrounds, at least it did for me. So as soon as I saw everything that I did wrong, or everything that I need to improve on written down, it's just there, and it's always going to keep reminding me of it. Another thing is your mindset. Like if you go into Battlegrounds, just like I said, to play the game, if you actually want to get better, the mindset needs to be, I want to learn. Everything is a learning experience. If you win, figure out what you could have done better. It's not because you got first that you play perfect. If you lose, don't feel bad about it. I got multiple 8th places, and instead of getting tilted or angry, you should be happy, because that's a learning experience. You can learn from that 8th place. If you didn't make those 8 places, there was nothing for you to, or like there was less for you to learn from. So whenever I got an 8, I just tried to analyze everything that I could have done different that game, and that is essentially what is going to help you improve, because then you're not going to make those mistakes anymore, and that 8th place is going to be avoided in the future if you apply that, of course, if you take away what you learned there. And tilt as well. So many people get tilted at percentages. I don't know percentages. I think it's still one of the best decisions that you can make in Battlegrounds, to not play with the percentages on top, because you don't need them. They don't make you a better player. They just let you know if you scammed or got scammed. But what's the point? The outcome is the outcome. Nothing changes that. No matter how lucky or unlucky you got, it doesn't matter. All that matters is the play that you made. Did you make the right play? Could you have improved your odds? Could you have done something different? You can't do more than play the best you can. If you get scammed, you get scammed. Doesn't matter. If you played correctly, that's fine. It just helps with being angry at the game and seeing everything as a roll of the dice. Another thing about grinding, which actually kind of sucks, is that it does require a lot of time, because there is RNG in the game. You do get 8th places no matter how good you are. Like I was on 33 HP as a millhouse with a Caligos, and someone had a boat into Slyssa's and Coiler, and I took 34. I remember that vividly. Like those games that are easy first places but get taken away from you, they hurt, but you know that they happen. They are about to happen. Everyone has those games. Like maybe that's not necessarily a learning experience because that's just pure bullshit and RNG, but that does not matter. What matters is that you can just acknowledge that, not get tilted, and move on to the next game and see if you could have done something different. If not, then just move on, right? Like it happens. So being able to objectify what happens is gonna help you out. Does that make sense? Like either this part about the grind that I'm talking to, like, is either going to be very interesting for people to listen to, because I would like to listen to something like this, or this is very boring and I think half of the people already skipped this entire episode. But if you're still listening, I appreciate you, and I hope my information is helpful, and I hope that you're going to hit some high ranks. But yeah, time, there's a lot of time, because you need to offset those 8 places, those bullshit 8 places, with your skill. So if you're good at the game, just like if you play 1,000 hours, you're gonna climb, right? If you play like 1 or 2 hours, you might not climb because of luck. Like if you have some bad luck or some bad stuff happen, you might drop down, and then the next stream or next time you play, next session, you're gonna climb back up and drop and climb and drop and climb. Well, if you play 12 hours straight, you're gonna drop, climb, but at the end of the 12-hour session, if you're good enough and if your skill allows you to, you're gonna have climbed, which is why I've been doing like 10-hour streams recently. And every stream I've climbed at least 100 or 200 MMR. Last stream I climbed 400 MMR. I streamed 12 hours. Like I started off climbing, then I dipped, and I felt like, oh dude, this stream is gonna be so bad. And then I ended much higher. So grinding, especially in Battlegrounds, is gonna take a lot of time, but if you want a high rank, it's probably worth it, right? You can spread it over multiple days. I just do it like hardcore because I have such an ambitious goal of hitting rank 1, but I hope that you don't drive yourself insane. Take enough breaks, because that's also important. Don't play when you're tired. I figured that if you're really tired or fatigued or hungry, you're just gonna perform like shit because your head is just not in the game. You need to be super focused. Don't get too many distractions. Those are all very obvious. And I think that is the most important tips that I can give so far that I learned. Like I've only been in this grind for 3 weeks now. I plan on continuing it the next coming week. So if you want to follow it, be sure that you check out the Twitch. Link will be in the description. I'll be streaming there at random times. I don't have a schedule. I'll be streaming with cam, without cam. I'll be doing lots of different stuff there. But yeah, I hope to see you there if you want to get better at the game as well and want to learn. Because one thing I do when I'm not streaming is watch other streamers. Another massive tip is to look at other people play. I watch lots of people with higher ranks than me, even with lower ranks, because playstyle differences are still important. Like even if someone has a lower rank, might not mean that they're worse, might just mean that they play less, might just mean that maybe this meta is not for them. But it's important to also learn from their playstyle, and they might know things that you don't know yet about the game. Like people still remind me of stuff that I haven't fully perfected yet, even though they're not necessarily a higher rank. So there's so much to know about Battlegrounds. No one has it all mastered except for the rank 1 XQN, who I gotta beat. This guy is a madman at 14k. But yeah, so this episode of the YepBoat podcast, there wasn't too much to talk about, I guess. It was just a meta because the patch notes I all covered and they were not that in depth. It was literally 2 things that changed, except for, well, the bug fixes, which a lot of people pointed out you can report bug fixes, so that's good to know. But and people even pointed out or said that Blizzard, like the bugs are not that big of an issue. But do you know how big of a company Blizzard is? Like these bugs have been in the game for weeks and months months, maybe even half a year at this point. It's not possible that a big corporation with so much money ignores such visual bugs that are seen by millions of players every single day. I've said this before, but if Hearthstone Battlegrounds was on the Steam store, I think XR said this, it would be amongst the top 10 played and downloaded games. That's how popular this mode is. And Hearthstone in general is kind of absurd because it's also a mobile game. So it's only normal to request, a bug fix for this game. Also lag, like if you play too many hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, the game starts lagging like crazy. What's up with that? But yeah, okay, no complaining. We're here to be happy and enjoy the game. Hope you enjoyed this episode though. It's a shorter one. probably because I'm solo. I don't have anyone to talk about, but this camera right in front of me, which represents thousands of people, I hope. Thank you for watching. Again, if you liked it, don't forget to like. If you want to talk about anything in this podcast, leave it in the comments. I know I talked a bit about the meta and about grinding. I don't know if that's a very sexy topic that people want to learn about, or but I hope you do. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you again. I'll catch you in the next episode. I have a lot of cool guides planned, so stick around for that. I just need to finish this grind first, or give up or quit, and then I'm gonna work on more YouTube content, I promise. Thanks again for the members, for supporting the channel, supporting me. And have a good day. Take care.